Best of West Baseball Showcase live on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Orange County All-Stars taking on the Inland Empire All-Stars. Starting time pushed back to 8 p.m. Join Jeff Stoynoff, Dennis Ackerman on the call.
very pleasant good evening, and we welcome you back to San Bernardino for the Best of the West Classic. You're on SoCalCollegeSports.com. We are underway in a very special attraction, the high school All-Star game, with the Orange County All-Stars taking on the Inland Empire All-Stars. These are all players finishing up their high school careers in both of these games. So you will see some familiar players and some players that you have seen playing in the tournament so far, but also some new faces here as the play unfolds. We're already underway with Christian Yogi grounding out to second to get things started, and that'll bring up Ryan Ball on the mound for Inland Empire. It's Ryder Gardner. And he works the ball, and it's low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike on Ball, who will be followed by Garrett Guillemette for Orange County. The visiting team for this matchup here tonight. Curveball high, 2 balls and a strike. Curveball just high again, 3 balls and a strike. Very pleased to have you with us here tonight. Jeff Stoynoff and Dennis Ackerman. Dennis finishing up another long, fun day at the ballpark with doubleheader action earlier. Just saw a very good contest between the Waves and the Pirates, with the Pirates remaining undefeated, but not without a scare.
No, the Waves jumped out to a 3-0 lead. They held that into the bottom of the 6th, and then the wheels came off, especially on the defensive side of the ball for the Waves. They committed 5 errors in just 8 innings, going on to lose 6-3. Some future talent in this one.
As Gardner will work from the stretch. First pitch fouled straight back by Guillemette, who had a good cut. Again, for those joining us, the Orange County All-Stars, the Inland Empire All-Stars, and these all high school players. So a one-off here in the inaugural Best of the West tournament as the high school talent takes center stage here in this All-Star game. Fouled away again, and it's no balls and 2 strikes on Guillemette.
He's headed to USC, and we've seen several players from the Pirates here in Summer League Baseball attending USC or headed there.
Yeah, he's going to have some teammates that he gets to know right here. Inside with the fastball, a ball and 2 strikes on Guillemette. Porter Pittman waits on deck, and Pittman will be a familiar name for those that have been following the tournament. He has been seeing regular action as a member of the OC Bucks as Guillemette goes down on strikes. Gardner gets him looking and gets the good call on the low fastball there, but enough of the plate to get Guillemette for out number 2. 2 down, a runner at first, and that'll bring up Pittman. And there is Pittman with the customary face covering that we've gotten used to, though that looks like a new color for Porter here in this matchup.
I think he's been wearing either white or red, so you're right, breaking out the blue.
Seeing the black as well. He's makes a statement. But he goes with the blue covering tonight, and Pittman's been impressive, playing regularly on a very talented Bucks team here that has been very good throughout this tournament. And Pittman has acquitted himself well and gets a chance here to play with his fellow high school All-Stars as he fouls this one away. No balls and 2 strikes. Earlier today, the Bucks with a victory, if memory serves, against was that the first matchup against the SoCal legend, SoCal Hitmen?
Yes.
Yeah, the Bucks with another impressive performance and a win for them as well. There goes the runner, the throw down, tag, not in time. Stolen base for Ryan Ball, and he moves into scoring position with 2 down. Meanwhile, a count of 1 ball and 2 strikes on Pittman. Ryder Gardner on the mound for the Inland Empire All-Stars to get things started. We do have advance notice of the pitchers that we will see, and expect to see about an inning or so from each of the pitchers for the Inland Empire team. It's a much smaller roster for the Orange County All-Stars that only dress 12 players, so likely to see longer stints for their pitchers as well, but a deeper roster for the Inland Empire. So we'll see how that plays out. 2 balls and 2 strikes now on Pittman. Here's the pitch, fouled away again by Pittman.
Well, if the Orange County players, a lot more playing opportunity in this one with the smaller roster. They are going to switch up their positions quite a bit defensively, but
well, we can only look forward to that here in the broadcast booth. We've had a lot of fun.
We're used to it, though, aren't we, with the summer league?
Yeah, we're on the 3rd weekend here. Our excuse of that is running a little thin, I guess. Got to be ready for it. But we will see some moving around, no doubt. Slow roller on the infield. Going to be a close play at first, and Pittman's safe. The throw, meanwhile, gets away, and Orange County is going to grab a 1-0 lead as Ball comes around to score. They do throw out Pittman at second to end the inning, but Orange County grabs the quick 1-0 lead. We're through half an inning. Just started here. The Best of the West tournament, the high school all-star game here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Jacob Vargas on the mound to get things started for Orange County as they grab the 1-0 lead. And Inland Empire coming to bat. And they will get things started with Brent Coda. Coda stands in from the left side. First pitch outside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Now the count on Coda. You see out of Alta Loma High School. And interestingly, Dennis, as we get ready for this, I'm going to have to just change up slightly. No longer out of high school when you're talking about this one. This is Brent Coda, currently at Alta Loma High School. 2-0. Vargas kicks and delivers. Fouled away. 2 balls and a strike now on Coda, who will be followed by Luke Watson and Blake Welty here in the bottom of the first, just underway from San Manuel Stadium here in San Bernardino. The Best of the West tournament brought to you by Future Events Group. And the inaugural tournament here. And that means the first ever Best of the West high school all-star game. Lifted to left. Powell moving in. He's under it and has it for the out. Coda retired. And that'll bring up Luke Watson. You see Luke Watson at Bonita High School, and there is Powell out in left field. Just came down with that one. So Watson, the righty, is ready. First pitch from Vargas. Gets away. Ball 1. Now these are the most sensible uniforms I've seen yet in the Best of the West tournament. That is a good choice for a 90-degree evening right there. Ball and a strike.
Outfielders playing very shallow on a spacious park. 330 down the left and right field lines. 410 to straight away center.
Yeah, a dangerous move, as we've seen. The ball will carry some, particularly in the alleys. This one's popped up on the right side. Ball there and has it to retire Watson for out number 2, and that'll bring up Welty. So a good start for Vargas. Luke Powell in left, Porter Pittman in center, Cole Quillen in right, Eugene Gian at third, Christian Yogi, the shortstop, Ryan Ball at second, Wyatt Johnson at first, the battery Garrett Guillemette behind the plate, and Jacob Vargas on the mound. And we do want to pass along just a quick customary disclaimer. I'll do my best on pronunciations of names, but it is possible that there might be a slight mispronunciation, and I certainly apologize for that if there is. 1 ball and no strikes on Welty.
You're doing quite well so far.
Well, you just never know with this thing. I feel like I'm pretty good phonetically with these things, generally speaking, but you often find out a little bit after the fact if there has been.
There's some tough ones.
A minor issue, but always try to get the names right as we learned about these new players. A ball and a strike, meanwhile the count on Welty. Off speed, and Welty out in front. A ball and 2 strikes the count. A.J. Marino would be next. We're just underway in the bottom of the first. Orange County with the 1-0 lead. 1-2 pitch, and Welty went fishing. Going after the breaking ball. They'll throw him out at first to retire the side. 1-2-3 for Vargas. In the bottom half of the first, we're through 1-0. Orange County. You are watching the Best of the West tournament, brought to you by Future Events Group here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. New pitcher Eric Rohrer on for the second inning for the Inland Empire. And he will work to Eugene Gian, leading things off for Orange County here in the top of the second. And Rohrer's size already caught our attention. Listed at 6'7", I saw 6'6", 6'7", and a couple of sites. So an imposing presence on the mound. And John stands in from the right side. First pitch from Rohrer, fouled back. No balls and a strike.
John headed to just up the coast, UC Santa Barbara, a couple hours north of Los Angeles.
Luke Powell waits on deck. The 0-1 pitch is low.
Teammate Joseph Wiersma is going to join him there at UC Santa Barbara.
1 ball and 1 strike on John. Sky high on the infield. And Watson there for the out. 1 down, and that brings up Luke Powell.
You know, Jeff, we've seen a couple high pop-ups here, and they've both been handled cleanly throughout this tournament. We've seen a lot of issues both in the infield and the outfield with fly balls and pop-ups that have been quite an adventure.
Yeah, some of the college guys having some trouble, but so far, the younger set handling the conditions well. Swing and a miss from Powell. No balls and a strike. Cole Quillen due up next, and there is Powell out of Capistrano Valley Christian High School. Off-speed pitch in the dirt. Count evened up, a ball and a strike on Powell. Well, so far a walk and a wild throw been the difference. Neither team with a hit yet as they work here in the top of the second. Rohrer missing with the fastball, 2 balls and a strike.
We'll see if the old adage holds true in this one, that good pitching will stop good hitting.
I think we've seen some good work at the plate up and down these rosters, but I would say so far here at the Best of the West tournament, that adage is pretty well held true. As I think back on the 3 weekends now of coverage that we're wrapping up here tonight. 3-1 on Powell.
The overall level of play has gotten better each weekend. You know, so many of these kids, they were off almost 4 months.
Yeah, you go through and it's interesting to look at some of the statistics as you try to learn a little bit about the players, and you see guys, pitchers with 4 or 5 innings pitched on the season, and then of course cut short with what's going on, and that's not a lot of baseball to get in. Frankly, I think you have to be impressed that there hasn't been a little more rust evident with these players, but they seem to have gotten back into the groove pretty well, all things considered. Here's the payoff pitch to Powell. Right in the dirt, and Powell has a 1-out walk. And Orange County has a base runner here in the top of the second. Quillen due up next. Rohrer from the stretch. And Powell with a bluff at second. And meanwhile, Rohrer pumps a strike in there to Quillen. No balls and a strike. Well, it's a pretty big roster, Dennis. Without looking, as there goes the runner. The throw down on one hop, and nice job backing the play up by Watson to keep the throw right there. But a successful stolen base for Luke Powell. But it's a pretty big roster for Inland Empire. Quick guess on how many batters we've got tonight? Will we see the 15 that I believe we saw from the Pirates in Game 2 today?
Yeah, that was the most we've seen, 15. We've seen pretty steady, I would say, between 11 and 13. But Pirates breaking out a 15-man lineup.
It's fortunate that for a showcase event where they can be a little more lax with some of the official procedures with a game, because that's the kind of situation where you could forget where you are in the order.
Oh, very easily. But the good thing is in Summer League Baseball, there's no penalty for batting out of order.
Right? 1 ball and 2 strikes to count on Quillen. With Davini waiting on deck. And Orange County trying to stretch the lead here. It's 1-0, but they've got a runner in scoring position with 1 down. And that is a swing and a miss. Couldn't tell if Quillen maybe just got a piece, but either way, the ball was held. So Quillen down on strikes. As we'll look at the replay, and there's just great action from Rohrer, dropping action, and no, Quillen came up empty. So 2 down. Powell still at second, and the batter will be Michael Davini. There is Davini. At Aliso Niguel High School, and on his way to the University of San Diego. Rohrer with a quick check of the runner, and comes home, and it's in there for a strike. There again, just looks to me as you watch, and it's tough off of one look, but looks like Rohrer might throw one of those heavy kind of fastballs with the dropping action that he gets on the ball. Be one of those pitches that's a little bit harder to get in the air consistently. Again, low in the zone. This one's a ball. A count of 1 ball and 1 strike on Davini, with Wyatt Johnson waiting on deck. Get a look at Powell at second. And too much time, and now Davini will step out. I always wonder what that's about, because it looked to me like Rohrer was not going to make a pitch there.
Right.
Just until Davini stepped out. And what is the motive behind that move that you see from time to time? And there goes Powell again for third, the hit and run on. Ground ball to second, and Watson will go to first to retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left on base. Heading to the bottom of the 2nd inning at the Best of the West Tournament High School All-Star Game. We're at SoCalCollegeSports.com. A.J. Marino will lead things off. for the Inland Empire All-Stars. AJ finishing up at Bonita High School this year. And it's Jacob Vargas on his way to Cal State Fullerton to continue his career back on the mound for his second inning for Orange County as they carry the 1-0 lead here into the bottom of the second. Vargas from the stretch tried the breaking ball and missed outside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes on Moreno. And Vargas working quickly. Here's the 1-0. Called strike. Back to the breaking ball. In the dirt again. 2 balls and a strike. And Jacob Vargas, and the report that we got on Vargas, fastball tops out maybe in the upper 80s, but as we see in the scouting, this one off the end of the bat. And an easy play for ball at second to retire Moreno. But one thing I think we can say with relative certainty is you can expect that velocity to continue to improve to a certain point. Just finishing up his senior year, and it always seems to be a little bit of improvement, a little room to bring that speed up, but already throwing that mid to upper 80s range for Vargas. And who knows, it might already be a little higher. That's just a report that I'm able to find online about Vargas, but doesn't mean that it's up to the second.
Jeff, so many of these kids, they're just graduating, and their bodies are still developing.
And here is Josh Kennedy.
They are a long ways away from bodies reaching their maturation point. They're going to get bigger, they're going to get stronger, and as you mentioned, the velocity could continue to go way up.
Yeah, already it seems like some pretty good life on the fastball as we watch from Vargas here in the first inning and the third. On the ground, but foul. And a ball and 2 strikes to count now on Kennedy. And Josh Kennedy plays his travel baseball with the Victory Baseball Club. Quite a few players here, as you would expect. Products of travel ball. Cold strike 3. And Vargas finishes him with the hook. Watch the curve. Beauty.
When did travel ball really become such a big thing here?
It's an interesting question.
Right?
Yeah.
Because when growing up, I mean, the summer was time off for every sport.
Well, I think we were in the era of was it Little League? And remember Junior League before
sure.
before Little League? And then Pony League, I believe, was the next one. But
absolutely.
I think it's all been taken to another level as Jason Shedlock is the batter. No balls and a strike. Chop to short. Big hop for Yogi.
It's a nice arm. Over
to first to retire Shedlock, and it's 6 up, 6 down. Vargas impressive over the first couple of innings for Orange County. They lead it 1-0 through 2. It's the Best West Tournament from San Bernardino, brought to you by Future Events Group. Top of the third inning from San Manuel Stadium. The Best of the West Tournament High School All-Star Game. Here on SoCalCollegeSports.com, Wyatt Johnson leading things off for Orange County. 1-0 lead. They push one across in the top of the first. New pitcher, meanwhile. Nathan Garcia to work the third inning, and he's quickly ahead, no balls and 2 strikes on Johnson. Here's the pitch, just outside. So far they've been sticking with the 1 inning. And as I look, yep, they've got 9 pitchers slated. So I think I've got the pattern down, D.
You do indeed.
2 balls and 2
You
strikes.
adjust quickly.
If my math is correct, I believe should be 1 inning stints appears to be the plan.
I'm going to follow your lead.
We'll keep you updated, but nothing would totally shock me at this point, but it does look like it's going to be the showcase of 1 inning for each pitcher, and so far the 1 run allowed over the first 2 and a leadoff walk to Johnson, who was down in the count. No balls and 2 strikes, but comes all the way back and works a walk to get things started here in the third.
It's a good at-bat, as you mentioned, down in the count. And he's going to be lifted for a pinch runner.
Trying to catch that number just on the way past.
Michael Davini, number 11, coming into pinch run.
Man, good eyes. How did you get that? Davini at first.
Just happened to take a quick glance over.
You're right. Listen, you know, don't try to throw me off with all your science. You got me confused on that one. 1 ball and no strikes on Yogi back to the top of the order. Yogi grounded to second to get things started here tonight. And there is Yogi.
We were talking in between innings. What a strong arm he has.
Yeah, that is, you know, a very, I'm going to talk about that, but it's an underappreciated, underrated trait to have on the left side of that infield. But you will hear a lot of talk about having the sufficient arm strength if you're talking about playing shortstop and third base, especially as you continue to move up levels. It becomes more and more important. 2 balls and a strike. And it looks like Yogi's got the arm strength. There is a look at Garcia from the stretch. And the fastball misses low again. 3 balls and a strike.
Yogi's going to stay home, plays college baseball, Cal State Northridge. Big West Conference. Stud Conference.
And another walk.
I did not know it was that nickname.
So trouble for Garcia here in the top of the third with back-to-back walks. And Inland Empire pitchers have issued 4 walks over the first 2+ innings, but they had managed to spread them out with 1 each in the first and the second. But this is legit control problems right now for Nathan Garcia, and that's going to bring a visit. And Charlie Reynoso is going to come out and try to settle his young pitcher down.
Tip of the cap to Charlie Reynoso. He's the main man putting this tournament together in this game as well here this evening.
Yeah, he's why we're all here. And we mean that in a good way.
Absolutely.
We mean that in the best possible way. First and second. And Charlie, the founder, the Inland Valley Baseball Association, done so much good work. This one, meanwhile, gets away all the way back to the screen. And it looked for a moment as if that one might have caught a piece of the bat, but both runners do advance.
I think they called that a strike, actually. I think.
Yeah, it is an odd location as he started to swing, and I think that's a good call. Great job on the replay, guys, and hard to tell there, but it's just so quick, even on the freeze frame, to see if we can get a look there. Meanwhile, back to live action as we show you the replay, but that one, difficult assignment for Connor Burns behind the plate. The count now, no balls and 2 strikes on the batter, Ryan Ball. With runners at second and third, off speed in the dirt, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And we'll never really know entirely for sure. It's difficult to really freeze it completely and see, but boy, that was close to maybe catching a little piece of the bat. Either way, it slips past Burns. Called strike 3, and Ball down on strikes, and that's that low outside corner, and pretty consistently seen that called for a strike. Get you a little bit closer here, unfortunately. A small obstruction in the way of the shot, and we couldn't quite
trust us. It was a strike.
Give you the look. But again, with the tailing action, that is a tough pitch for Ball to do anything with. And he takes it, and it's a called strike, and he's down on strikes. Meanwhile, it's quickly no balls and a strike on Garrett Guillemette. And all of a sudden now, Garcia settled down, throwing nothing but strikes. So Charlie Reynoso had the magic words.
Also bringing the infield in, trying to cut off the run at home.
And we haven't seen this very much at all in the tournament at any point. And Guillemette sends it through on the right side for a base hit. This will score one. They're going to hold Yogi up at third, but on the play, Guillemette alertly is able to take second.
Yeah, it's a smart base running play by Guillemette.
This is just a great job. Inside out swing and takes it to right field past the drawn in infield. And they were thinking about sending Yogi, but he puts on the brakes about halfway down, and Orange County pushes the lead to 2-0. Still going here with runners at second and third, still only one out, and Porter Pittman coming to the plate, and a chance for Porter Pittman to really grab control of this game early for Orange County. First pitch in there for a strike. And there is Pittman heading to New Mexico State. Off speed, low and away. A ball and a strike. Porter Pittman playing travel ball. SoCal Birds orange. Of late, tried to hold up, but he went around, and now he's down in the count. A ball and 2 strikes.
I'm going to swing. I shouldn't swing. Let me hold up. Nope, can't quite.
The infield at about halfway. 1-2 pitch. Popped foul, out of play. Yogi at third, Guillemette at second, with one out here in the top of the third. And Orange County, all 12 men on the roster for this one with the early 2-0 lead. Fastball up, 2 balls and 2 strikes the count on Porter Pittman. Again, fouled back and out of play as Garcia tried to come inside. And if you're Garcia here, you're thinking one thing here: strikeout if I can get it.
Pittman battling him tough, though, at the plate.
Yeah, Pittman, another one of this. There's a few that we've seen that are like that, these tough hitters with 2 strikes. To get one by, down he goes on the curveball. That's a great job by Garcia.
That is.
Really mixing it up and showing a lot of intestinal fortitude there going to the breaking ball. Showed him a good inside fastball, and that's a breaking ball up in the zone, and Pittman went after it. 2 down now. Still runners at second and third. That's a big strikeout. Now it's up to Eugene Jian. Popped up right side over near the dugout, and it's out of play. And quickly, no balls and 2 strikes on John. An eventful inning for Garcia, who hasn't done himself a whole lot of favors, issuing a couple of walks and giving up a base hit to Guillemette. But so far, he's held Orange County to just the 1 run. as he works on Eugene John, who's 0 for 1, popped out his first time up. 0-2 pitch, fastball way high. One-two pitch. Went to the breaking ball away, and John able to lay off. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count. Eugene John, third base, but also does some pitching as well. Down on strikes. Garcia just froze him and then finishes him with the fastball. She watched the replay. Right down the middle. So Garcia wriggles out of the jam. 1 run on 1 hit, no errors. 2 left on base. Heading to the bottom of the 3rd from San Bernardino with Orange County on top. The Inland Empire. The high school all-star game here at the Best of the West tournament on SoCalCollegeSports.com. New pitcher, right-hander Joseph Wiersma takes over for Orange County. Here in the bottom of the 3rd, where he'll work to Zach Rodriguez, Travis Habensiefken, and Carson Suez. So here is Rodriguez, as Wiersma takes over for Vargas, who was perfect through 2 innings for Orange County. First pitch from Wiersma misses low and away. Fastball sails high. Wiersma now down 2 balls and no strikes. For Zach Rodriguez out of Vista Murrieta High School. And on his way to Cal Santa Barbara, where guess what? He'll be teammates with Joseph Wiersma. 3 balls and no strikes. Well, perhaps they'll have a story to tell. Called strike. 3 balls and a strike on Rodriguez. Travis Habensiefken waiting on deck. And I noticed when they wrote in the lineup that they gave to us that Habensiefken was referred to as Hobbs. You think that's okay for me to call him Hobbs?
I must confess, I couldn't even follow. Like, where's Hobbs? Who's Hobbs?
Well, I have to admit, I'm just guessing, but he is in the lineup.
Yes.
And it does make a lot of sense. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Now the count on Rodriguez. Gas. And Rodriguez down on strikes, and a nice job by Wiersma. Down 3 balls and no strikes, but he comes back to get him. And take a look here. And the fastball up at the eyes. So difficult to lay off of. And you see it time and again. And Rodriguez goes down on strikes. So that'll bring up Hobbs. And Wiersma, who elects to work from the stretch. A good curveball in there for a strike. As you get a look at Haben-Siefken out of Ayala High School.
How many letters in that last name? I think I had 15, but I'm not positive.
14.
14.
I think. And I'll tell you what.
I thought 15, you thought 14.
That's strange because I'm not a visual person, but I did try to picture it. Haben is 6.
I think it is 14. I think you
No,
are
I
correct.
think it's actually 13.
It is 13.
All right, there you go.
All right, well, third time's a charm. 15, 14, 13. It's long.
Two balls and 1 strike. Just don't ask me to, pronounce it backwards. The old Harry Carey, who used to, who grew fond of how to pronounce the names backwards.
Where are you, Toby Hara?
2 balls and right there. Yeah, there you go. There's one we could get.
Right.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Wiersma ready. Here's the pitch. And the curveball high. So 3 balls and 2 strikes on Travis Haben-Siefken. Payoff pitch. And that one high for ball 4. So the first base runner of the evening for the Inland Empire All-Stars. Haben-Siefken works a walk after 7 in a row were set down to start the game by Orange County pitchers, and that'll bring up Carson Suez. Carson Suez recently playing the SoCal Red Sox scout ball. And that one up and out of the zone and back to the screen.
I believe that should be a wild pitch. Almost looked like he crossed up his catcher.
Yeah, not too high, really. I think one that Guillemette might have been able to come up with more often than not. And that one gets away again. That one low and away. And all kinds of problems now. And you can see that Wiersma has the kind of stuff that can present an issue. Very live arm, and you combine that live arm and a little bit of late movement, still building his overall command and control. And it can be a tough assignment behind the plate. So the runner all the way to third now with 1 out. And a 2-0 count, and that one well inside. And it's 3 balls and no strikes on Wiersma. And there you see Suez out of Los Osos High School. And up over his head, back to the screen. This is going to bring home a run. So 3 wild pitches in that at bat alone. And Inland Empire is on the board. And, well, I have to do it, Dennis. I cue the Bull Durham reference. So a runner at first. Still only 1 out, and that'll bring up Sean McLeod, who certainly is a familiar face for those following the tournament. Playing with the Inland Valley Pirates in this tournament and doing a great job for the Pirates, who are thus far undefeated in tournament play. Good fastball in there for a strike. Snap throw down. And Suez back. So no balls and 2 strikes quickly on McLeod, but McLeod a little bit out of that same school that we were talking about with Pittman and DeAndre Smith, Tyrese Turner, that hitters that have been tough with 2 strikes in this tournament. And we'll see how he does here with Wiersma. Down, no balls and 2 strikes. Just off the outside corner and took Guillemet's glove with it. Well, I think when you can knock the glove off the hand of the catcher, you got pretty good velo. Yeah, to use the terminology of our buddy Bones, Tony Barbone, who works with us here on SoCal College Sports and a lot of our coverage. Meanwhile, another pitch back to the screen. And as that ball gets away, Suez advances to second. A ball and 2 strikes, or I should say 2 balls and 2 strikes on McLeod. Still only 1 out. Swung on and missed, and Wiersma fans McLeod. Well, I need to stop talking about how tough these guys are to get out with 2 strikes. Not doing them any favors. But that's just a great job by Wiersma. Just able to blow it by him. Good fastball. And now he shows the off speed and gets the called strike on DeAndre Smith. Smith at San Dimas High School and one of the many players here on their way to USC. Back through the box and into center field, a base hit. Rounding second, it says he will come home. They'll cut it off and go back to second. The tag not in time, and Smith safe at second. So Smith ties it up with an RBI single. And look out here as you watch the replay. Wiersma, you got to be aware on the mound. Here it comes. Well, there you have it. It's the first knockdown of the tournament. Right there, and it belongs to DeAndre Smith. So he sends it back through the box, and the aggressive base running allows Smith to get to second and into scoring position with 2 outs. Big 2-out hit for DeAndre Smith, and we're tied at 2 in the bottom of the 3rd. Fastball up in the zone, 2 balls and no strikes on Connor Burns. So McLeod, Smith, and Burns all playing regularly for the Inland Valley Pirates here in the tournament. And they'll see action tonight as each of them makes their way onto the high school all-star team. Inside, 3 balls and no strikes. Burns way out in front.
Sure, he's going to give him the green light here. Got some pop in that bat. A couple of home runs in the Best of the West tournament.
On the outside corner for strike 1. Ryder Gardner, who started on the mound and has moved to shortstop, is on deck, so inserted into the lineup. That makes the final number, Dennis, 13 in the lineup. Well, I should never say final number, but right. That appears to be it. Burns tried to hold up, but he went around for strike 2. So full count on Burns. Inland Empire looking for the lead with Smith at second and 2 down. The payoff. Called strike 3. Burns down on strikes, but the Inland Empire gets back into the game. 2 runs on 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base through 3 complete. Orange County, Inland Empire tied at 2 in the Best of the West tournament high school all-star game. Here on SoCalCollegeSports.com, brought to you by Future Events Group. pitch from you, driven deep to left. The pitch from you, driven deep to left. Sanders back, looks up. And it is out of here.
No, Luke Powell, sorry.
It'll be Luke Powell to lead things off against the new pitcher, Alec Weigel. For Inland Empire as we move to the top of the fourth inning. Tied at 2. Powell, his first time up, drew a walk. Was eventually stranded. That came back in the second inning, and the first pitch from Weigel gets away. 1 ball and no strikes. Don't worry, we've got trivia.
I'm ready.
Like I say, we spent a lot of the day. Well, you were manning the booth in our first 2 games. Well, here's our first question.
Okay.
Oh, they were very proud of this one. What player appeared in the Little League World Series, the College World Series, the Major League Baseball World Series, the Olympics, and the World Baseball Classic?
I think I know it. I think.
Well, I'm impressed. Meanwhile, a ground ball to McLeod. And he goes to first to retire Powell for out number 1. Showing the good range. McLeod at second. One of the things I think you have to be impressed about McLeod is, and other players like DeAndre Smith and Tyrese Turner, players for Inland Valley, is the way that they have really moved around to different positions. You see them playing all over the diamond as Cole Quillen is the batter. Swing and a miss at the high fastball from Weigel.
Yeah, great versatility. They could play. We've seen him at second. We've seen him at short. Even in the outfield.
So a ball and a strike. The count on Quillen. Breaking ball from Weigel misses low. Well, I got to tell you on that question, the fact that you know it. I am impressed.
I have a guess. I think it's an educated guess.
On the ground to short, Shedlock with a sliding attempt, but he can't come up with it. And it's through for a base hit for Quillen. So a runner at first. Take another look at this one. This is a good piece of hitting. Back up the middle. So Quillen at first, and Davini will be the batter. He grounded to second. His first time up. Weigel from the stretch. Inside, and this one gets all the way back to the screen. And so Inland Empire will return the favor as they made good use of a few wild pitches in the bottom half of the third to get themselves back into the game, and this one gets away. And Quillen is able to move up to second. 1 ball and no strikes. The count on Davini. Fastball misses. Alec Weigel, another product of travel ball, as you would expect, playing for the Desert Prospects travel team. 2-0 the count. Lifted to right. Rodriguez camped under it and has it for the out.
What would you name your travel team, Jeff?
Oh, I don't have that kind of creativity. I'll tell you. I will tell you the truth, and I don't have anything prepared, but I can guarantee you this.
Yes.
It'd be an 80s reference, and probably an 80s popular culture reference. There's some movie, something. I can almost assure you that would be the case, but yeah, I don't have that kind of natural creativity to just come up with something clever right off the bat. You got something in mind? Two down.
I don't. That's a great one. I'd have to think about it.
1 ball and no strikes on Wyatt Johnson, who walked his first time up.
Harry Bosco All-Stars.
2 balls and no strikes. Mike, you can only use that one if you have the tagline that goes with it. And Mike reminding me of a couple of his team names. Didn't play travel ball, but he did play fantasy sports, which does call on you to come up with clever names. So 2 balls and a strike. A lot of the same talents involved there.
I'd probably go something A's related, or like you, 80s or 90s, and my players would think I was a complete dork.
Who's your favorite A's player of all time? If you had to pick one, I know there's gonna be more than one, but if you had to pick one, who's your favorite A's
It's Ricky
guy?
Henderson. I mean,
How could it not be?
I mean, it just in his prime.
Special.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when he came in up in '79, and the A's were awful. They were actually contemplating moving to Denver.
Yep.
And
They would draw like 1,000 people to a game. I remember. I mean, just insane. Fly ball to right. Rodriguez started back, now moving in, and he's got it to retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. We're heading to the bottom of the 4th. The Best of the West Tournament High School All-Star Game here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Joseph Wiersma back on the bump for Orange County, and he will work to Ryder Gardner and then the top of the order. Brent Coda and Luke Watson. First pitch in there for a strike. So Gardner, who started on the mound and pitched an inning before moving on. He sports the patriotic look.
Yes, indeed.
Down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Wiersma ready. And a wave and a miss at the curveball. And that is an impressive beginning for Wiersma here in the 4th. 3 pitches and 3 strikes. And Gardner is gone, and that's going to be tough. When you got the kind of velocity that Wiersma is going to bring, if he can locate the curveball, that is going to be a tough ask for opposing hitters. And he does the job there against Gardner. And that'll bring up Coda, who flied to left, back in the 1st. Wiersma ready. And the fastball sails for ball 1. Interesting, and you see this from time to time as we cover the event, but Wiersma obviously comfortable working from the stretch and elects to work from the stretch with the bases empty. And I know this is something that we've talked about in some of our other broadcasts, and Mike and I have discussed that on occasion, but I feel like you see that more often of late than previously. That seems like something that's coming more into vogue, if you will, over the last maybe 10 years or so. I could be wrong about that.
No, I do agree with you, and I wonder somehow if it's playing into the sabermetrics where guys aren't pitching as much innings. Maybe they might go in and face just a couple batters, and they just feel comfortable pitching out a stretch instead of the windup. So I agree with you 100%. It is becoming more and more common.
Well, I could see also there might be some kind of benefit if you can engage in a little speculation, but it does shorten things a little bit, and you wonder if maybe that does, for some pitchers, give you a little greater sense of control. And as I say that, Wiersma issues a walk to Coda. So 1 out and a runner at first, and Watson will be the batter. But it'd be interesting to hear some of the thoughts from pitchers in baseball that elect to do that. Fastball misses outside. 1 ball, no strikes. The count on Watson. He popped to second, his first time up. Big swing and a miss. One ball and 1 strike. Did we not have you? Because I'm sitting right next to you, so I can hear you. I never lost you. Pitch down low and a snap throw down, but Coda back easily. 2 balls and a strike. And the fastball misses outside. 3 balls and a strike. Now on Watson.
Hello, gentlemen.
Joined by the Mike Cepeda.
Welcome.
Do everything guy here for SoCalCollegeSports.com. He just runs everything. Base hit to right and a little trouble out in right field for Quillen, and everybody's going to take an extra base. So a base hit for Watson, and you got to believe that's going to go down as an additional error then out in right field, as we'll see the replay, and looks like this one just kind of hops away. And on the play, Watson and Coda both running hard, able to make it to second and third.
Check.
So Welty with an opportunity, with runners at second and third, and only 1 out, and now Orange County brings the infield in about halfway up the middle, but they're in at the corners. And the first pitch from Wiersma in there for a strike to Welty. Well, ironically, they're handling the balls high in the air, but a ball on the ground. Takes a hop and gives Quillen a little bit of trouble. So no balls and 2 strikes. The count on Welty, who struck out his first time up. Tried to hold up. They'll appeal down. And Welty is down on strikes.
That's a real good pitch. Strikes him out, keeps the runners at second and third.
And that is a huge strikeout for Wiersma in a 2-2 game. I don't know if we had that from the third base side, but it looked like Welty had a pretty good idea that he went around.
Stay here.
First pitch swinging, ground ball to second, and Ball will go to first to retire the side. So Wiersma does a great job again working out of a jam. No runs on 1 hit, 1 error, 2 left on base. Through 4, tied at 2, Inland Empire, Orange County. It's the Best of the West tournament, high school all-star game. Here on SoCalCollegeSports.com, brought to you by Future Events Group. Spencer Bengard, the new pitcher for the Inland Empire, as we move to the top of the 5th in a 2-2 game. And he will work to the top of the order, Christian Yogi, to be followed by Ryan Ball and Garrett Gillimet. Yogi 0 for 1, grounded out and walked in 2 trips. Here's the 0-1 from Bengard, and a swing and a miss. And quickly, no balls and 2 strikes on Yogi.
He just blew that one right by Yogi.
And there is Yogi out of Long Beach Millikan High School on his way to Cal State Northridge. He fouls this one away.
OC adjacent.
Bengard ready. Here's the pitch. A little bit awkward. Chopped foul just wide of third.
Yeah, that little bit of hesitation.
Got a little Nomo in
the
there? Got a little Nomo? A little Hideo?
Hideo, and it's now there's a good one. Speaking of trivia about the, can you name the five?
Wait, can we do the first one?
Yeah,
and
of
then
course.
Come back to yours.
Yes, absolutely. But it's
because I think I'm going to offer up a guess. What I think I might know it.
All right,
not
yes.
100% correct, but I feel like I've got an educated guess.
I can't wait to hear it. Here's the 0-2. A little bit low, a ball and 2 strikes, and that is dangerously close to a pitch that we have seen called for a strike.
Absolutely, that was a good-looking pitch
in this tournament from Bengard. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here is the pitch to Yogi, swung on and fouled away.
All right, here's the answer.
Oh, wait, no, we got to let Dennis guess here. We got to
go ahead with the guess.
Can I offer up my guess?
Absolutely.
I think it is Robin Ventura.
And as we said that you and I, that was the guess I initially offered as well, but sadly, we're not right.
Heartbreak.
I felt pretty good about it for something that I had no idea on, as that one is rolled to first, and it's Haben Siefken who will take it himself.
It is not Ventura. Any other guesses before I give the answer?
Little League, college, World Series.
I was thinking of great college players I could think of for my guesses, and because I think the rest of them, I don't, it could be so many, but I thought who has been a great college player, but this was one I ultimately had no chance on.
I'm stumped.
All right.
I'm ready. I'm ready to find out. Very curious, very ready.
I'm going to tease the answer after this batter.
That is good, Mike. That is good.
You are a pro.
You're
One
good.
down, meanwhile.
You're good.
And the batter is Ryan Ball, and the fastball from Bengard in there for a strike.
Down 3, 1, 2, to your right.
And my question will come shortly thereafter. Fly ball left field. And Ball retired for out number 2 here in the 5th.
As promised. What player appeared in the Little League World Series, College World Series, MLB World Series, the Olympics, and the World Baseball Classic? Jason Varitek.
In my defense, I knew it was a guy. It wasn't a guy from like the 1920s. I was able to read the context of the question and know that it wasn't that. But Garrett Gillimet will be the batter. Well, we mentioned Nomo a moment ago, so that is 1. But the Dodgers in the early 90s, sorry to ask a Dodgers question here, A's guy, but
that's okay.
Had 5 consecutive Rookies of the Year. They also did it back in the late 70s to early 80s. I believe that was 4 in a row. But we'll stick with the 90s. From 92 to 96, they had 5 consecutive Rookies of the Year, did the Dodgers. So we got 1, that's Nomo. How many of the other 4 can you name?
Raul Mondesi.
That's 1. I won't ask you for the years.
No, please don't.
Which year is which guy, but popped up in back of second. And Gillimet is retired. And down go the Inland, or I should say the Orange County All-Stars here in the 5th. We're halfway through this one. Orange County, Inland Empire, the All-Star game tied at 2 here at the Best of the West tournament on SoCalCollegeSports.com, brought to you by Future Events Group. Joseph Romero, the new pitcher for Orange County. As we head to the bottom of the 5th, he becomes the 3rd pitcher of the evening for the Orange County All-Stars. He will work to Josh Kennedy, Jason Shedlock, and Zach Rodriguez. As Kennedy, who struck out his first time up, stands in and takes the first pitch for a ball. Romero ready, rocks and fires in there for a strike.
So I have 3 of the 5.
You're doing well.
But I might be stumped after that. Uh-oh, I think somebody else has it. Somebody else in our booth, I think, has it.
Had it without looking?
Right. I mean, there was
did you
no
just brush the other
hesitation.
two without even looking?
Well, hold on. Let's get the name. Well, let's get the question out there.
Okay.
First.
I am impressed if someone did this without looking at all. As that one back to the screen, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Of course, we might have some Dodger fans here, so that is, could explain it.
All right. The Dodgers had 5 consecutive Rookie of the Year award winners from 92 to 96. Name them. I know we've been spitballing here.
I gave you 2 already. Nomo, which Jeff gave, and then I gave you Raul Mondesi, and then we have to come up with the other 3. I came up with 1.
Yeah,
the other
Piazza's
2.
And Piazza's 1. So we're missing 92 and 96.
Who?
I don't want to know. I'm going to try to get. I'm going to think about this.
He doesn't want any answers.
Nope.
Chopper to second. Ball's got to hurry, and he lost the handle.
That was going to be a tough
Kennedy
play.
is going to be safe.
Yeah, really tough
Yeah, once you let that one take the second bounce, you're asking for trouble. And Kennedy with good speed, hustling down, and he ends up at first on the error. So the go-ahead run aboard here in the bottom of the 5th, and Shedlock will be the batter. As Kennedy away from first. Fouled away. No balls and a strike on Shedlock. He grounded to short back in the 2nd. Consider, though, while we talk about this, as that one squirts through back to the screen and Kennedy on to second. So runner at second. 1 ball and 1 strike, the count.
Don't look.
Consider that the Dodgers had the 5 straight Rookie of the Year award winners, and then somehow how it did not translate to postseason success, shall we say, in the years that happened. It just shows you, how random it really can be. I mean, you would think a team that could put together that kind of talent would be in great position to go on and have sustained success, but the vagaries of sport, the vagaries of baseball come in there, and it just never quite came together.
Well, the Atlanta Braves win 13 straight division titles.
Yeah.
But just 1 World Series.
With nary a Rookie of the Year award winner on there.
A lot of Cy Young award
that
winners.
I can think of, but it's true. Including 2 straight, as we discovered last night. Another bouncing ball to second, and a chance for Ball. This time goes to first to retire Shedlock, but on the play, Kennedy is able to advance to third with only 1 out. So Inland Empire with an opportunity here to nose out in front.
Was Chipper Jones Rookie of the Year one? Might have been for the Braves.
That's a pretty good chance, I would say. I don't know offhand. Although, no, because he was in the league in 96. I know he was there.
I thought in 93 he was the...
And we've already established that the Dodgers had all of the Rookie of the Year, so
wow.
I guess Chipper was not. Unless I'm misremembering this one, but I believe I'm right about this, that it was all the Dodgers won.
Andrew Jones, perhaps?
Another one who was right in that spot. 1 ball and 1 strike, the count now on Rodriguez. The go-ahead run 90 feet away. And they'll play about halfway on the infield. But with Kennedy having, appears to be pretty good speed. 2 balls and a strike. And it's going to take something sharply hit right at somebody, or Inland Empire stands a good chance of grabbing the lead here in the bottom of the 5th. Here's the 2-1 to Rodriguez, outside a ball.
Not the worst thing in the world to put him on. Then you get runners at first and third, and possibly set up a double play ball to get out of the inning.
Yeah, Haben Siefken would be next, and that is low for a ball. So a walk for Rodriguez. Runners at the corners with one out. And Hobbinsiefken coming to the plate. He walked his first time up. So Romero in a bit of a jam here in the bottom of the fifth. Good fastball. Swing and a miss. They stay about halfway at the corners, but they'll move back, double play depth up the middle, looking for the ground ball.
Very shallow in center and right.
And shaded just slightly the opposite way. Fastball misses, count evened up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Two runs, 2 hits, 2 errors for Orange County. 2 runs, 2 hits, 1 error for Inland Empire. And 2 balls and a strike. The count now on Hobbinsiefken. Romero from the belt. Here's the pitch. Outside. 3 balls and a strike. Goes with the fastball and able to blow it by Hobbinsiefken. And taking a look at the pitchers, and we've seen several, and I'm pretty impressed with the velocity that we've seen from a number of these arms. There's another one here in Romero. Pretty good fastball when he gets behind it. On the ground, and it's going to get through for a base hit to right. That's going to give Inland Empire the lead. The infield moving, and now the throw over the head of the cutoff man, but they back it up to second, and they get Hobbinsiefken at second, trying to advance, but on the play, Inland Empire does grab the 3-2 lead. It'll go down as an RBI single for Travis Hobbinsiefken.
That was a nice bit of hitting, though, going the opposite field. And second base was vacated, trying to cover second on the stolen base attempt.
Yeah, get the infield moving around and on the overthrow, but a good job getting it back. And able to get the tag, but not before the Pirates grab the lead. Off the glove of Romero over to second. Ball can't come up with it cleanly. Everybody's safe, as that was McLeod at the plate instead of Suez. But on the play, it ends up going down as an infield hit and another run, and the lead now pushed to 4-2. Well, that was going to be a tough play once it went off the glove of Romero with the speedy McLeod getting down the line. And not much chance for Ball or Yogi, as it turned out, as that ball kind of pinballed around the middle infield. And on the play, Zach Rodriguez comes home with the run. There goes the runner, the throw down, stolen base from McLeod. It's into shallow center, but McLeod's going to stay put. So a chance for Smith to extend on the lead now as McLeod stands at second with 2 down here in the bottom of the 5th. And the Inland Empire All-Stars have come back to grab a 4-2 lead. Smith had an RBI single his first time up. And Smith takes the breaking ball outside. 2 balls and a strike. Connor Burns would be next if DeAndre Smith can keep it alive here in the bottom of the 5th. Romero ready. Kicks and deals. In back of first. And Johnson backing up has it for the out. To retire the side, but not before the Inland Empire All-Stars get some work done. 2 runs on 2 hits, 1 error, and 1 left on base. Through 5 complete, the Inland Empire All-Stars on top of the Orange County All-Stars in the high school All-Star game here at the 2020 Best of the West Tournament on SoCalCollegeSports.com, brought to you by Future Events Group.
No pitcher, Joey. I'm guessing you.
Joey Uter out of Los Osos High School on the mound for Inland Empire. Staked to a 4-2 lead as he works here in the 6th to Porter Pittman, Eugene Jian, and Luke Powell. And here is Pittman. 0 for 2, reached on an error and struck out. First pitch from Uter. Lined into left center. This is going to drop in and go to the track. Pittman around second, flying around the base pass, and he will make it into third standing up. Man, that is some kind of speed from Porter Pittman on the base pass. And I know we have been blown away by Tyrese Turner, and I'm not going to make a guess on speed, but we've got a race in terms of who gets around the base pass fastest, because Pittman can fly.
I was actually thinking inside the park home run for a moment. I really was. The ball was hit into the alley, a long way to go for both the left and center fielder. Now, as you mentioned, Pittman is flying out of the box.
So it'll go down as a triple, and that'll bring up John and a golden opportunity for the Orange County All-Stars to get themselves right back into this one. A run now 90 feet away, still nobody out, no balls and a strike on Eugene John, who's 0 for 2, popped out and struck out. They'll play the infield back, so they'll concede the run on a ball hit on the ground. Roped foul. A ball and a strike. Well, welcome to the game, Joey Uter. So Uter taking a little extra time. Here's the 0-2. And squibbed foul, just wide at first. We'll take a look at the ball, and Uter will look to get back to work. He's out in front, no balls and 2 strikes on John. Mentioned the Gian moving back and forth between third base and pitching, but gets the call on the infield tonight. Takes a ball for 1 ball and 2
strikes. Back to the trivia, fellas.
Well, I'm still waiting on the on the final 2, but I have a feeling that Corey Rubin, our able director, seems like he's ready over there. Slow roller up to first. On the play, Pittman will come home to score as John is retired at first. So that makes it 4-3.
That ball had a weird top spin to it.
Just that quickly. A triple from Pittman, and they bring him home. Yeah, it looked like John tried to turn on that one, but caught it off the end of the bat, but got the job done. It's going to look like a nice deep fly ball to the warning track and an RBI in the box score. Hey, you got the run home. So base is empty, 1 down, and the batter will be Luke Powell. Mike, I think you've been there when I've asked this question before, but how'd you do with this one?
I did pretty well.
Yeah, he's a Dodger guy.
I think I had the tough one the first time you asked it.
That's amazing, because I'm telling you, this is a...
Mike, did you get all 5?
This guy is...
I know all 5, yes.
You were 5 for 5?
You know what? The first time you asked the question, this might be the 3rd time you've asked it.
This is one of my favorites, along with the 4 in a row that won it from 79 to 82. But we'll just have to wait for that one.
I know one of those.
I think I know 2 of those.
You guys are so ready for me. I don't get to ask myself questions.
No.
That is always my fate.
Corey Rubin was 5 for 5.
Quizmaster. That's
our co-director this evening.
and that is very impressive.
Wow.
I'm telling you, to get 3, I think is
I was happy with
pretty
3.
notable.
Yeah.
The 4th one is one that people sometimes forget, and then the 5th one is just that's obscurity. That's impressive. This one lifted to left, but twisting out of play.
Remember, you can tweet all your answers to at SoCal College SPO.
Luke Powell 0 for 1, grounded out and walked. Yeah, that is quite the excited, expectant look on the face of Corey Rubin as he continues to work, but still able to answer the trivia questions. That's impressive. When you can do a job, and by the way, well, dedicating very little of my brain power, I can still get all of your trivia questions too.
Look, his job is multitasking.
That's true.
To a sense, he's just adding another task. Okay, here's the answer.
And there they are.
Apologies for the small text.
It's Eric Karros in 92.
I should have
the
got
one we
that
forget. And Mike Piazza Rome on to see Hideo Nomo from 93 to 95. And then 96, who can forget Todd Hollandsworth?
I do
Breaking
remember
ball.
Todd Hollandsworth,
Well,
but I
yeah.
never would have guessed Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, it's
Bonus question in '96: who was the AL Rookie of the Year? Jeff, I think you probably know this.
I'll have to think about it. Let me think about that one for a minute. I am not great at multitasking.
It is a massive name.
Oh, I think I know it. I think I know it.
American League, 1996.
I think, yeah. Yep, I've got my guess. Fastball in there for a strike for Uter. So no balls and 1 strike on the batter. Cole Quillen. Quillen 1 for 2. Singled and struck out in 2 trips. And back and forth they go as the Inland Empire All-Stars take a 4-2 lead. But then Orange County comes back with a run and looking to get all the way back. Fouled away by Quillen. So no balls, 2 strikes. Michael Davini would be next. Uter ready. And the breaking ball fouled back by Quillen. And the pitch to Quillen outside. They count now 1 ball and 2 strikes. In the top of the 6th. At the Best of the West Tournament High School All-Star Game. Orange County All-Stars Inland Empire All-Stars. There goes the runner. Line drive sinking into center. It's going to drop in for a base hit. On the play, Powell has to hold up at second as that one just dropping behind the bag. So not much chance for Powell to make it all the way to third. Quickly on it, like DeAndre Smith in center field. And Smith doing a good job of getting to the ball quickly and ultimately holds Powell to second base. It's still just one out. And Orange County getting something going again. This will bring up Davini, who's 0 for 2, grounded out and flied out. So Uter checks the runners, now comes home. Change on the corner for strike one. Talked about Joey Uter out of Los Osos High School. Sky to center. Smith moving back but has room and has it for the out. On the play, Powell tags at second and makes it to third. So the Davini flyout puts runners at the corners, now with 2 down. Started to make the point about Uter that he is heading to Cuesta College this upcoming year. Well, it's nice. You can play a little bit shallow if you've got DeAndre Smith's speed to get back there on a ball hit in the air. And Smith able to get back. He was waiting for that one. But Powell with the alert base running makes it to third with 2 down. And now any old kind of a hit from Wyatt Johnson should tie this one up. Johnson's 0 for 1, fly to right and walked. And you see Johnson finishing up at Kennedy High School and on his way to Cal State Fullerton.
I wonder if they're still in the Empire League.
I sense something from Mike Zepeda's neck of the woods.
Well,
no balls and a strike.
A little bit of history. I went to Century High School, and we were in the Empire League years ago, and Kennedy was in there, El Dorado was in there, Loera, the Saxons. Friend of the program, Tony Jimerson.
Line drive left field. This is going to be in there for a hit. Johnson looking at extra bases, rounds first. He's heading to second. He will make it with a stand-up double. We're tied at 4. We'll watch the replay here, and this is a curveball up in the zone, and Johnson turns on it, rips that one into the corner, and Vizcaíno does a good job to cut this one off short of the wall. That probably saved a run for the moment and kept it a tie game with runners at second and third now with 2 out, and Christian Yogi coming to the plate.
Yeah, I thought Quillen was going to be able to score. It was a nice defensive play out there in left field. Keep it a 4-all ball game.
So Yogi's 0 for 2, grounded out twice and walked. Nice job behind the plate, Connor Burns. Able to make the sliding stop, and that right there is a run saver. Given the current situation, second and third, 2 out. So Yogi looking to put the Orange County All-Stars back out in front. That's turning into an entertaining back and forth ball game here. Swing and a miss.
We're going to pick an MVP for this one, fellas. Honorary MVP.
That sounds like something that's the color guy's job, I think, right there.
Well, there's 3 of us. We can all cast a vote.
Hey, look, I'm multitasking as it is.
Oh, sure. Mike Zepeda's going to play the producer-director card.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, guys, I can't. I'm busy running
Mike,
the broadcast.
We might need you to cast a decisive vote.
Yes, we will all have a vote. It's 2 balls and a strike now on Yogi. Joey Uter from the belt. Here's the pitch. Foul out of play.
No one's really stood out. I think Porter Pittman has been pretty good. Vargas was probably the most impressive pitcher that we saw. 2 innings of work. And
Yeah, 6 up, 6
faced.
down. Yep. It's been a pretty good call. Obviously, the Pittman triple, that was definitely a highlight. Johnson right there probably throws his hand in the ring with the RBI double. He's 1 for 2 with a walk. But the story, I believe, still to be told.
Long ways to go in this one, gentlemen.
3 balls and 2 strikes, yes, our MVP perhaps not distinguished himself just yet. It's what's still to come. Full count now on Yogi.
Still to come, trivia question number 3.
You guys did pretty well on the Dodgers. Got him. On the outside corner, Yogi down on strikes. And Orange County done in the 6th, but not before. They get 2 back, 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, 2 left on base, heading to the bottom of the 6th. Brand new ball game, Orange County Inland Empire, the All-Star game tied at 4. Here from the Best of the West tournament from San Bernardino. Mound for Orange County, tied at 4, and he will work to Connor Burns, Ryder Gardner, and then the top of the order, Brent Coda for the Inland Empire All-Stars here in the high school All-Star game. The Best of the West tournament, that one back to the screen, 1 ball and no strikes on Burns. Struck out his first time up back in the 3rd inning. Another fastball low. Well, Romero came on last inning. Gave up a couple of runs. But Orange County able to get it back in the top of the 6th.
It's Connor Burns taking one out early in the tournament.
3 balls and a strike. Yeah, and as you would expect in a nighttime game here in San Bernardino, it was a no-doubter. As he launched it. And then was it the next day, I believe, Dennis, that
he went back to back.
He went out again. So 2 home runs. Ground ball to short. Yogi.
Wow.
With the peg and gets Burns at first.
What an arm at shortstop.
We'll see it again.
Yeah, you can you can kind of gather yourself and take that extra fraction of a second when you have this kind of arm. He has a little bit of leeway. And watch this one here. That was a nifty play. Takes the bad hop. Tell you what, that's right out there. I'm going to give you the old reference. That's right out of the Sean Dunston school.
Oh, there you go.
Shortstop. Looked a little familiar to me. 1 out. And 1 ball and no strikes to count now on Gardner. Also a strikeout victim his first time up. Ahead now in the count, 2 balls and no strikes. So 1 down, and there is Gardner out of Glendora High School. Line shot to third, knocked down by Jean, but his throw is high. And on the play, Gardner is going to be safe, and I got to believe that's going to be a base hit. That was a shot off the bat of Gardner.
But if he takes his time with the throw, I think he gets him at first base. I think he just thought he had to rush it.
Yeah, it's a great job turning on the pitch on the inside corner. And, yeah, I think you're absolutely right. It's going to be a bang-bang play, no doubt about it, but you could see that Jean had the feeling, very quickly grabs the ball with the bare hand and uncorks the throw. And it ends up being wild, but on the play, Gardner remains at first, and that'll bring up Brent Coda, who's 0 for 1, flied out and walked in 2 trips. Or do we have a
Carson?
Do we have a different batter? I'll let you guys catch me up on that. Yeah, we have a different. We have a pinch hitter, and it is Connor Suez, who was skipped in the order earlier. This time through the order, so this is Suez's second at bat, so he will come back up. Takes this one outside. Meanwhile, a late break for second to throw down. They won't get him. So the wild pitch to Suez. And on the play, Gardner able to take second. So just like that, Inland Empire looking for the lead. 2 balls and no strikes. The count on Carson Suez.
So what do? We go from the number 13 hitter to the number 9 hitter? Is that how we're doing it? Back to the top of the order?
Now you can't be too surprised by this point. You're on weekend number 3.
That's what I'm gonna. That's the way I'm gonna play it in my
I literally
scorebook.
To give you a little bit of a sneak peek of next week, when the Santa Barbara Foresters come in here, it's going to be a little bit more of a formal setting, if you will.
As Suez works the walk, so runners now at first and second,
I'm
still
kind
only
of in
one
favor
out.
in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will feel a little more natural.
Well, hey, we're just working off the rust.
So that'll bring up Coda, who is 0 for 1, flied out and walked. And he will be heading to Mount San Antonio College
Mountie.
next season. Takes the first pitch for a strike.
Mount Sac.
Oh, you're familiar?
Oh, yes.
As are we.
We've had some coverage on the ground to short. Nicely done by Yogi. Goes to second for one. Little trouble on the relay, and that is going to allow Coda to leg it out and keep the inning alive. Boy, that was a tough play at short for Yogi with the base runner there. But he comes up with it cleanly, goes to ball at second, and just a little trouble from ball. A second effort there to get the ball out of the glove, and that's all Coda needed to just beat the throw at first. And so the inning will continue now with runners at first and third and 2 down. And let's see if that play ends up being a factor here. As Luke Watson will be the batter, 1 for 2. A single and a pop out in 2 trips. Romero's pitch in there for a strike. See Watson out of Bonita High School. 1 pitch inside, and Watson able to get out of the way. Takes it for a ball. Luke Watson, one of many players for Inland Empire, the All-Star team, playing his travel ball at SGV Arsenal. A few teammates here playing for the Inland Empire All-Stars, as that one's just out of play. And a ball and 2 strikes to count. Now on Watson.
Jeff, you asked me earlier my favorite Oakland Athletic. How about your favorite Chicago Cub of all time? Do you have one?
I'm going to have to think about that one for a minute. Oh, sure, I could give you the obvious Ryan Sandberg, and he's up there.
Rhino.
But maybe there's one I can even think of. See if there's one that really pulls at the heartstrings. Swung on and missed. And Watson down on strikes. And Orange County out of the jam. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, 2 left on base. Through 6 complete. The All-Star game tied at 4 here at the Best of the West tournament here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. ball set to lead things off. Garrett Guillemette and Porter Pittman will be the batter. And at least according to the roster that we have, David Vizcaino is the new pitcher for the Inland Empire All-Stars. First pitch fouled away by Ball, who's 0 for 2. Flied out and struck out and walked in 3 trips. And the 0-1 in the dirt. Count evened up at a ball and a strike. Vizcaino ready. Here's the pitch. Inside, 2 balls and a strike. And Vizcaino ready. Lifted into center, but playable. And back. And retired is Ball for out number 1 here in the 7th. And we should make the point very quickly that we're working with the rosters that we were given as to some of the numbers. There has been a little bit of confusion with some of the players. We didn't know specific uniform numbers until shortly before game time. And also, as has been the case in the tournament, it should be mentioned that there are quite a bit of changes in the field, players moving around from inning to inning to different positions, as is often the case in a showcase type event. So we try to keep track as much as we can, but this is not a situation where we're being made aware of every single change that's happening with players moving around, as well as the possibility that there could be some discrepancies, even possible with uniform numbers as well. So we do as best as we can to keep up with what's going on and to keep you apprised of what's going on with the game. But obviously, apologies if there is misidentification of a player in the field, or particularly in the field, but anywhere in the game as well. 2 balls and a strike, the count on Guillemette, who's 1 for 3. A base hit back in the 3rd.
Well, we had the 5 Dodgers Rookie of the Years from 92 to 96. They had a run earlier in the franchise's history. Story, you want to touch on that?
Yes, if memory serves, it was from 79 to 82 for Rookie of the Year award wins for the Dodgers as a team as well. Another one of my old favorites.
I think I know 3 of the 4.
That I love to ask.
I think I know all 4.
I knew we'd be getting to your neck of the woods there. Dennis, I had the utmost faith in you on this one.
I don't know the order, but I think I have all 4.
So a runner at first as Guillemette on with a 1-out walk, and that'll bring up Pittman. Vizcaino's fastball in there for a strike. Pittman is last time up with a triple. He's now 1 for 3 in the game, came around to score in the 2-run 6th. That saw Orange County pull even at 4. And the fastball low for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Here we see that triple from earlier. Went into the gap with his speed. Look at the Jets there.
And just watch, taking 3rd and easily in with a stand-up triple. And when Pittman rounded first and got going towards 2nd, there was another gear there.
Well, speaking of another gear, Vizcaino flashing a pretty good arm. A lot of fuzz on that fastball.
And he's ahead of Pittman, a ball and 2 strikes.
Porter Pittman is going to wreak some havoc in that Western Athletic Conference, playing for New Mexico State.
Eugene John waits on deck.
Well, he's a blur on the bases, but also very good in the outfield. A couple of really nice catches in this showcase.
Vizcaino checks the runner, now comes home, off speed, misses inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Vizcaino, the 7th pitcher, as Inland Empire with a long list of arms on this roster. So everybody going an inning. Quick throw over. And Guillemette back. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count. There goes the runner. Swung on and missed. The throw down. Not in time. So Guillemette able to swipe second, but on the play, Pittman goes down on strikes for out number 2.
It almost appeared that Pittman might have been catcher's interference. Got in the way of the throw. They didn't call it on him, but...
Yeah, definitely leaned in a little bit.
Yeah. He was heading towards the dugout as
Yeah,
the catcher was trying to make the throw down to second.
On a pretty good pitch to handle, to throw down. So Guillemette in some danger, but ultimately safe at second. And now a runner in scoring position with 2 down, and Eugene John, the batter, and he takes the first pitch for a ball. And now it is Burns back behind the plate. As I take a look, and almost got Guillemette at second. Pitch in there for a strike from Vizcaino. 1 ball and 1 strike. Pulled the string on that one, and John way out in front. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. Orange County looking for the lead. A base hit here to the outfield might just do it. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball, lined into left field, but a running catch will retire the side. So John threatens. I believe that was Josh Kennedy making the running catch out in left field as you watch the replay. As we head to the 7th inning stretch, still tied at 4. The Inland Empire All-Stars, the Orange County All-Stars, the high school All-Star game here at the Best of the West tournament on SoCalCollegeSports.com. New pitcher Luke Powell in from left field will take over on the mound for Orange County, and he will work to the heart of the order. Blake Welty, A.J. Marino, and Josh Kennedy. I'm used to saying that 3, 4, and 5 in the order, but I guess on a 13-batter order. So we're still at the top of the order, I think, at 3, 4, and 5.
You can still say 3, 4, and 5.
1 ball, no strikes.
Not the true 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah, Welty 0 for 2. Struck out twice. As the left-hander Powell takes over here in the bottom of the 7th. Still tied at 4. High drama here for who's going to win the game, and still high drama for how the vote's going to go for MVP up here in the booth.
TBD.
1 ball, 1 strike. Yeah, listen, still unresolved. Still got some baseball left. In there for a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Might come down to whoever has the final at bat.
The 1-2 from Powell outside, a ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Welty. Welty out of Glendora High School, and he's going to stay local. Start his college career at Citrus College this upcoming season. And he cues that one back.
One of their athletic directors.
Friend of the program.
Yes, he is. He's got a great movie trailer voice.
Well, that could be a tough field to break into, I think. It's about one guy, I think, that does a lot of the a lot of those movie voiceover. Here's the 2-2 to Welty. A wave and a miss with the high fastball from Powell. And a strikeout to start the 7th. That'll bring up Marino, who's 0 for 2. Well, often said, high fastball located well, and that is tough to lay off of, particularly with 2 strikes. Welty trying to protect, but down on strikes. First pitch a ball to Marino.
Third trivia question.
Yeah, are we still going kind of Dodger-centric here?
No, we are not.
All right, good. Foul back. A ball and a strike. I still had enough of all the rookies of the year. You guys did well.
What team did Babe Ruth start his career with? Tweet your answer to @SoCal College SPO.
This is another one I swung and missed in the afternoon when we were coming up with these questions.
Well, Jeff, if you don't know, I thought I had the answer, but if you're saying you swung and missed, I might be doing the same thing.
When they stump me on any of these questions, I say, sure, you guys are just scared to ask me a question about the 80s. Cold strike on Marino, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I mean, I know what my answer is, but I'm beginning to think my answer is not correct.
This was an interesting one. And I do have a comment on this answer too. You had to expect that. The left-hander Powell ready. Here's the 2-2. Swung on and missed. And they'll throw down. And Powell strikes out the first 2 batters here in the bottom of the 7th. And that'll bring up Josh Kennedy, who's 0 for 2. Struck out and reached on an error. Eventually came around to score in the 2-run 5th that saw Inland Empire grab a brief lead, which they would lose in the top of the next inning, as Orange County came back from a 4-2 deficit to tie it up at 4, and that's where we are now. And there is Kennedy, Claremont High School. 1 ball and no strikes. Powell ready. Here's the pitch. Fastball outside. 2-0 count on Kennedy, with Rodriguez waiting on deck. Back to the screen. Kennedy had a good cut. Just missed it. Yeah, they asked me what team Babe Ruth starts his career with. They asked me who hit after Babe Ruth and Gehrig in 1920. Well, they challenging me on my early part of the 20th century baseball.
I didn't know you were such a fan back then.
Right? Hey, listen, I'm old, but I'm not that old. 3 balls and a strike. We should ask Dennis the question about the youngest MVP winner. That was an interesting question. Kennedy way out in front now, 3 balls and a strike.
How old and who was it?
He was 19. He's the youngest player to win an MVP award, and that is called strike 2.
19. 20.
20. Okay, sorry.
Robin Yount.
Good. It's a good guess, but no. 22. I had a couple of guesses that, boy, I really thought I had it. As Kennedy gets the walk, and a 2-out base runner for Inland Empire. So Kennedy aboard, and that'll bring up Shedlock.
How about Mickey Mantle?
There's another one I guessed, but no. I had one that I really thought. In there for a strike. So Shedlock 0 for 2. He's grounded out twice. See with 2 down here if they want to put Kennedy in motion at first. Held on by Johnson. Good hole on the right side for the left-handed hitting Shedlock. Not going. The fastball in there for a strike from Powell. Now it's no balls and 2 strikes on Shedlock.
My other guess would probably be a Yankee as well with that one.
Fastball inside. They'll appeal down. Shedlock didn't go. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count.
Actually, I'm going to change it up. I'm going to go Ted Williams.
That's a good guess, too.
Am I still incorrect?
You're still incorrect.
Wow, I'm getting a lot of shaking of the heads. No. I'm 0 for 3.
I guessed another Red Sox player that I thought for a minute maybe I had it.
You thinking Fred Lynn?
Yeah. That's a rookie.
Yeah, he's MVP and
Yeah, rookie of the year.
yes.
I don't know if another player has done that.
Ichiro.
Ichiro.
Yeah, Ichiro did it.
Okay.
Was it 2000 was his rookie campaign? Yeah.
2 balls, 2 strikes the count on Shedlock. Kennedy with a short lead at first. Here's the pitch. Fastball high. Well, from no balls and 2 strikes all the way back to 3-2 for Shedlock.
Well, the runner will be off with a pitch, so something hit perhaps down the line or into the alley. Could score Kennedy from first base and break the deadlock.
Powell from the stretch. Here's the payoff. Called strike 3. And Powell locates the leather, strikes out the side. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left on base. Heading to the 8th in a 4-all tie at the 2020 Best of the West High School All-Star Game here on SoCalCollegeSports.com, brought to you by Future Events Group. Heading to the top of the 8th, tied at 4, and leading things off, it'll be Luke Powell. Just struck out the side on the mound in the bottom of the 7th, and does that qualify as a Harry Carey? Isn't it funny how you strike out the side and then you lead off the next inning? New pitcher Adam Christopher on the mound for the Inland Empire, and the first pitch tails away for a ball. Powell 0 for 1. Has walked twice. Christopher evens up the count at a ball and a strike on Powell. My memory is I've seen Christopher in the tournament so far. I think he has at least one appearance that I can recall in our coverage.
I think you are correct.
Back out there. Lifted to center, a long run. Welty's still on the run. He's not going to catch up to this one. It's going to get to the track. Powell out of the gate into second easily with a stand-up double. This one out over the plate, and Powell gets the arms extended. And that is just a tough play out there in center. No way you're going to catch up to that one. And Dennis, you made the point earlier, defenses across the board in this tournament playing a shallow outfield, and you can get burned on a ball hit deep. It's tough to get one out of here, but you can carry one back toward the track pretty easily, and that one gets up over the head and ends up being a double for Powell, with Quillen coming to the plate. 1 ball and no strikes on Quillen, who's 2 for 3. Couple of base hits.
I don't think he ever picked that ball up coming off the bat in center field.
No, it was a towering shot. Out there to the deepest part of the ballpark. Line shot. Marino comes up with it, and he'll go to second to double the runner.
What a play at first base.
Off the bat, Quillen with good contact. And A.J. Marino. That's the barrel. And no chance here. I think you're looking at Powell at second, and he really had broken for third, but I think even if he is just edging off the bag, getting ready, I don't think he's got any chance there. I think he's going to be doubled off.
That is a defensive gem.
So 2 down now, base is empty. And Christopher with a strike to Michael Davini. Davini's 0 for 3, flied out twice and grounded out. So the threat taken away just like that. The breaking ball in there for a strike from Christopher. And he's way out in front now, no balls and 2 strikes. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Curveball just outside. Slow roller to second, and it's McLeod who will go to first to retire the side. A leadoff double goes nowhere. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. And nobody left on base heading to the bottom of the 8th. The All-Star Game, the 2020 Best of the West Tournament. Wyatt Johnson takes over on the mound for the Orange County All-Stars as we head to the bottom of the 8th. We're tied at 4. We may get to the answer to the greatest trivia question of all of them. What do they do here when they're tied after 9 innings at the Best of the West tournament? We still don't have our definitive answer.
No,
I think they wrap it up.
That's my guess.
I don't think
as
we're
well.
playing extra innings, but we'll wait and see how it happens. But this is as close as we've come.
Start the top of the 10th, bases loaded.
Time of the 4th. Well, that was my suggestion. I don't know if we're going to get that. Rodriguez, a swing and a foul tip, and it's no balls and 1 strike. Rodriguez 0 for 1, struck out and walked in 2 trips. As Johnson moves from first base onto the mound. Bouncing ball to short. Yogi over to first in time.
Bases loaded and 3-0 count.
That's it.
What did you guys think of starting the game, starting extra innings with a runner on second in the major leagues this year?
I meant to say we discussed it a little bit. Now, I didn't see it because I didn't see the game, but, in the end, I don't – as a viewer, as a fan, I don't really care. It's fine. If it speeds it up, sure.
But if it's your team, like the A's, I'm an A's fan. I found it very interesting. I found it made the action more exciting.
Well, I got to tell you, Dennis, I'm a Cubs fan, and of late, as I've watched the Cubs bullpen over the last couple of years, let's face it, we were going to put the runner on second probably anyway. So as far as I'm concerned, just put him there. From the footage I've seen, they put a lot of runners on second anyway.
I just think it brings more action to the game, and that's what the game needs right now. And I am a purist, but I did enjoy it. I wasn't sure how I'd react, but I thought a lot of excitement. But I just thought it was interesting that neither manager, Joe Madden of the Angels, Bob Melvin of the A's, neither one sacrificed.
And how long did the game ultimately go before there was a winner? Line
The
drive,
A's won in
base
the
hit.
bottom of the 10th on a grand slam.
Well, that sounds like baseball. A runner at first with 1 down after the base hit for Travis Hobbins-Siefken. A good piece of hitting past the diving Yogi and into center.
But I know they're trying a few other things. You've got the universal DH, but like I said, I'm a purist. I'm not crazy about that.
Well, sure, the game is boring because nobody plays whitey ball anymore.
Not a lot of small ball out there.
Curveball in there for a strike from Johnson as he works to Carson Swess, No official at bat. He's walked twice.
By the way, I'm out of guesses on the youngest MVP at 22.
It was a tough one. Do we want to give the answer on the Babe Ruth question?
I'm going Red Sox on that, but I feel like I'm going to be wrong. But
we are. I also guessed that. I will say I'll let him give the answer. Called strike 3. Johnson gets the strikeout on Swess. 2 down. Hobbins-Siefken still at first, and Sean McLeod will be the batter. There's the hook from Johnson. While you're watching, we'll run through the montage here as he worked on Carson Swess, and it was a steady diet of breaking stuff, and gets the punch out here. Again, working the outside corner that time, and that is impressive work from Wyatt Johnson. 1 ball and no strikes to count on McLeod, who's 1 for 2, singled and struck out. Let's have a run batted in as well. Now ahead 2 balls and no strikes. McLeod, another one of the players I mentioned, the travel team, SGV Arsenal. At least 3 players on this Inland Empire All-Star team play their travel ball on that team. 2 balls and a strike. Not terribly surprising. I think it's a small community.
a lot of talent here in Southern California.
IE specific. It's just a boatload of it.
Here's the 2-1 from Johnson, way outside. Snap throw down. Not in time.
Wow.
So 3 balls and a strike on McLeod. We're in the bottom of the 8th, tied at 4. Fastball, sharp ground ball through for a base hit. So McLeod with his second hit And it's 2 on, 2 out for DeAndre Smith, who already has a 2-out RBI single. And he'll look here to potentially give the Inland Empire All-Stars the lead here in the bottom of the 8th.
And if he can deliver here, we might have our MVP.
You get the feeling that this is the next big hit, and there it is, up the middle, a base hit. Haben Siefkin being waved in. Here he comes. He will score without a play. Smith comes up big again. 2 for 3, a couple of runs batted in. It just takes it right back up the middle. How about it? And if my memory is right, that's pretty much a carbon copy of the RBI single from early in the game as well, when he went right back through the box. It's just a great job at the plate by DeAndre Smith, and that'll bring up Connor Burns, who's 0 for 2. Johnson paints the outside corner with the fastball, no balls and a strike. And you see Connor Burns on his way to Long Beach State, Don Lugo High School. 1 ball and 1 strike.
You get the feeling Burns not going to get much to see here.
Swing and a miss.
Big
Now
rip
he's down to the
back
count
there.
of ball and 2 strikes. Well, you certainly need to be careful. He has shown more than enough power to make it 8-4 if you make a mistake. And Wyatt Johnson just trying to get back to the dugout and give his team a chance in the 9th. Off-speed pitch misses, 2 balls and 2 strikes on Burns.
Burns in high school, senior season, had 2 home runs in just 8 games.
Lifted to right, twisting foul. Yes, perhaps he likes the feel of San Manuel Stadium.
Well, it's not a bad ratio. 2 home runs in 8 games.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not bad.
Well, he's right about there in this one. They moved to 7-0
Yeah.
earlier today with the win. He's got 2 more home runs. That's about the clip. Just gets a piece of the breaking ball from Johnson.
Well, again, a shout out to Future Events Group putting all of this together, headed by Charlie Reynoso and Michelle Klauser. Have been a big part of what we've done. But this high school all-star showcase, in effect, is an opportunity for these kids to showcase their abilities on what ended up being a lost season.
Well, I had it at 2-2, and it looked like he swung. I think he just did get a piece of it.
He did.
Yeah, it fouled it off.
All right, so Burns still alive. Here's the 2-2 from Johnson. Curveball, skied on the infield. This should do it for the 8th inning. But Inland Empire with a run on 3 hits, no errors, 2 left on base. DeAndre Smith coming up big. And the Inland Empire All-Stars will take a 5-4 lead into the 9th. Here on SoCalCollegeSports.com, the 2020 Best of the West Tournament brought to you by Future Events Group. we head to the ninth.
Yeah.
It'll be Wyatt Johnson leading things off, followed by Yogi and then Ryan Ball. And we should have, well, it's Adam Christopher. We did have Kyle Anderson initially slated to potentially pitch an inning, but Christopher's going to work a second inning, and this is the second, I should say, the first time we've seen an Inland Empire pitcher work a second inning, so Christopher will try to close it out. No balls and 2 strikes on Johnson. Swing and a miss, and down he goes. Christopher gets the strikeout to start the ninth. That'll bring up Yogi. He is 0 for 3 with a walk as you get a look. Fastball on the outside corner. And a nice job by Christopher.
Reminds me a little bit of Christian Culpepper. You know, the wiry frame delivery.
Yep. Culpepper, who just worked in our game last night, finishing off the win over the Waves.
Very
curveball high. Yeah, a couple of pitchers really blew us away. Not to mention the Waves. And Mason McGarvey. What, 6 strikeouts in a row. And pitch in there for a strike, and it's a ball and a strike now on Yogi.
This game stays status quo, Jeff. I think I'm going DeAndre Smith as our MVP.
I think you got to 2 hits, and that was just a massive RBI single with 2 down in the 8th. That right now is the difference, a ball and 2 strikes.
Mike, we're not going to need your vote. I think Jeff and I are in agreement.
You know what? I'm going to agree with both of you.
Well, there you have it. Unanimous.
If the score holds.
Yes.
Right. Still got baseball left, 2 balls and 2 strikes. I want to thank our crew. Tyler Rubin, Jorge Zepeda on camera. Corey Rubin, assistant director and producer in tonight's broadcast. Produced and directed by Mike Zepeda.
Wow.
Fastball low, 3 balls and 2 strikes. The count now on Yogi.
Hey, we still haven't given the Babe Ruth answer.
Yeah, we got to get that out there because I've got to say something about that. Full count on Yogi. Here's the pitch. And the breaking ball fouled away.
Oh, wow.
What team did Babe Ruth start his career with? Baltimore Orioles.
I need to work on my reading because he never played a game for the Orioles. So he was there, and then he was gone. So I don't doubt the veracity of the answer. I want to be very clear on that. But 3-2 pitch, bouncing ball to short. It's Watson who will go to first to retire Yogi, and now the OC All-Stars are down to their final at bat. 2 down, bases empty, and Ryan Ball coming to the plate.
Number 9, Ryan Ball.
So Ryan Ball out of Trabuco Hills High School. He's on his way to Cal State Northridge coming up this next year. Breaking ball in there for a strike. And well, after the shaky start that saw Christopher give up the long double to Powell, after the line-out double play for Quillen, he's retired 3 more in relatively routine fashion and appears to have settled into a nice groove as Ball goes after the ball in the dirt, and now he's in a hole. No balls and 2 strikes. Back to the screen. This will wrap up the coverage for weekend number 3, but we will be back next week. 6 more games on the slate, including a visit from the Santa Barbara Foresters, one of the top teams in the entire nation. So it's going to be exciting to have a new team coming in here. Swing and a miss. And they will tag him out. And so we will have coverage of those games on Saturday as well as more coverage on Sunday, of course. Follow along, keep track. You can find out our schedule on our website, SoCalCollegeSports.com, and of course by looking up the Future Events Tournament here from San Bernardino to keep up on all the schedule and information regarding the tournament moving forward. It's a final here in the Best of the West tournament. Wait. Well, I'm going to hold off just for a second here to see if they're going to come out and play a bottom of the 9th, even though Inland Empire does have the 5-4 lead. So let's hang on just for a second. Okay, so we are going to play the bottom of the ninth. Even though Inland Empire does lead at 5-4, so we'll play half an inning more of baseball. Yeah, can you give up a run? And the can you lose a couple of runs? Well, where are we on the trivia?
We need the 22-year-old youngest MVP.
Oh yeah, well I think Dennis has earned the answer on that one.
What do we? Who is it? I'm giving a lot of educated
Yeah,
guesses.
tell the man here.
I think I'm like 0 for 6 though.
Well, listen, I went 0 for more than that.
No, nobody ever said it. No, I was just told it was a pitcher, but I was never told who exactly it is.
Vita Blue.
It's Vita Blue.
Oh, that's right.
You know
I
what?
tried to erase it because
it's your third game today, so
It
we're going to
is.
give you a pass.
I'm delusional. Number 14 for the Athletics.
Get this man an Uber home.
Yes.
It's a long drive for you. That's an expensive Uber.
Might be worth it.
Michael Davini will be the new pitcher, since we're keeping it here over the half inning.
Let me get him up there.
And again, we're going to play the bottom of the ninth with Inland Empire leading the OC All-Stars 5-4.
It's not a typo. Elisa
This has also
Miguel.
happened in a few of the games from the Best of the West tournament where the home team is winning, but they'll still play the bottom frame.
Ryder Gardner will lead things off in the bottom of the ninth. We didn't get to a trivia on the Natural, the movie. Too much time on that,
We were multitasking earlier.
right? Hey, you guys still had a chance to challenge me on one of my favorite movies, No Balls and a Strike. On Gardner, 1 for 2. Singled and struck out. Davini ready. This one lifted foul. No balls, 2 strikes.
Pretty classic score in that movie.
Yeah, not bad. Breaking ball low and away, a ball and 2 strikes on Gardner. It'll be Gardner, Coda, and Watson here in the last of the ninth.
Are you taking the Natural over Bull Durham?
Ah, they're such different movies, really.
If you had to watch one, you got to pick one.
I have
I'm
to
putting you on the
pick
spot.
one.
Yeah, I'm putting you on the spot. You're going to go home tonight and you're going to watch one and one only.
I think you might be surprised to learn I'd take 8 men out, but I'll
okay.
go with I'll go with the Natural.
How about this? Let's pose it like this. I know it's a hard question, but you haven't seen either movie. Which one would you watch?
Bull Durham. I think that was one of the best baseball movies of all time.
Yeah. You're not wrong as Gardner goes down on strikes.
I think it just captured the authenticity of minor league baseball to a T.
I think Bull Durham's more watchable and rewatchable. I think The Natural, is just such a good movie, just overall. Great performances, great story. Dark.
But not as dark as the book. I don't want to give anything away.
Well, you can't go wrong with Robert Redford ever, can you?
Can you name a bad movie he was in?
1 ball
No.
and no strikes to count.
That's why
Nothing's coming to mind.
That's why there's silence.
Oh, there must be one.
Everybody has one.
Lifted into left. And Wiersma. Out number 2. Coda retired quickly. 2 down for Davini. And Watson will be the batter. It's been an entertaining ball game, back and forth. And the Inland Empire eking out the 5-4 win. And Watson now perhaps the final batter of the evening. Tried to hold up but went around. A ball and no strikes. Or I should say no balls and 1 strike. One ball and 1 strike. That was Powell out in left field, returning after his stint on the mound. So 2 down. A ball and a strike the count. Now, granted, I was only 9 years old when I saw The Electric Horseman. How was that movie? Swing and a miss.
Are you going through IMDb right now?
A ball and 2 strikes. No, I just remember a lot of movies from the late 70s, apparently. Two balls and 2 strikes. I could be totally wrong. I don't have much memory of that movie. That could have been a very good movie. Wouldn't want to suggest that was bad. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Watson. Davini trying to close out a quick 9th inning. Cold strike 3. Davini works a 1-2-3 ninth. Fanning 2, and now it is a final. 5-4. The Inland Empire All-Stars over the Orange County All-Stars in the Best of the West tournament high school all-star game here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. And we'll wrap up our coverage for tonight and the weekend. We look forward to seeing you next week for additional coverage. We will have all the games for you, either with Dennis during the day as well, but also some of our coverage as well coming in the evening games. We have 2 games for you coming on Saturday, 3 games overall, and then, of course, 3 more on Sunday. Look forward to seeing you then. For everybody here at SoCal College Sports, thanks so much for joining us. So long, everybody.